Dallin Oaks just spoke in General Conference for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He is the president of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, and he spoke about two things that are deteriorating in our society and the opposition around those. Let's talk about it.
There is opposition. In the United States, we are suffering from a deterioration in marriage and childbearing. For nearly 100 years, the proportion of households headed by married couples has declined, and so has the birth rate. The marriages and birth rates of our church members are much more positive, but they have also declined significantly. It is vital that Latter-day Saints do not lose their understanding of the purpose of marriage and the value of children. That is the future for which we strive.
And of course, his statistics are accurate. Take a look at this. 1960 and 1950 have a really steep decline. What happened in the 1950s and 1960s that caused such a decline in marriage and birth rate? Well, many of you may know the Bible used to be taught in schools, but now it's far from it, and no prayer either. And this took place largely in the 1960s, when the yellow line here is the Bible being taught in school, and the blue is evolution. Look how it's switched. Look what's happened to our schools. Look at the violence. Look at the lack of God. Look at how we've moved away from God and from family after being taught evolution so much in schools. This additional chart was a deep research about what laws were being passed, and a lot of them were hitting in the 60s. There was a lot of debates and battles into the 60s where they started to allow evolution teaching and taking out the Bible. Of course, when you say someone evolved from an ape, right, versus they were created in the image of God, those are two mutually exclusive and opposing ideas, and it's caused a lot of harm to our community and to our church. Let's also hear what Russell M. Nelson has taught about evolution, but you can see here that teaching our children they evolve from apes is going to make them act like apes and to take away their divine identity, which is so vital. And we see that in children today. They don't have a clear identity if they're not reading their scriptures and attending their classes in church. Our beloved prophet Russell M. Nelson said when he was interviewed by the Pew Research Center in 2007, does the church have an official position on evolution? He said, we believe that God is our creator and that he has created other forms of life. But to think that man evolved from one species to another is to me incomprehensible. He also gave another talk in conference saying some people erroneously think all life came from a big bang. The church is not for evolution.